There's some plastic plants up ahead. You're on the ropes. Bash down. That might come in handy. Ah, some wood scrap. Always happy to find that. Says the shop holds something for everyone.
Saglit lito tulit.
Always good to have some wood scrap like that on hand. You found Boulder Broke. Toxanol used this place to make big rocks into small ones. They just ground everything down. Keep filling your air holes. This is called Suburbia, a place to get away from the city stink. That hurt him. Finished him off. Wrecking fest. Yerp Fields, where the echo of your actions resounds clearer than any other place you'll find, except for where that... There it is, the Tree of Life. The idea that all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future, a representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. So many creatures doing so many things during the day. Wood scrap. The one kind of scrap you could actually still find growing. Let's see. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above. Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds. You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility. He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots. He promises he'll be there for you. Just come talk to him beneath the tree if you're feeling lost. Out of Date says there's a time for everything. And now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone. Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things. If you continue to do good, good will follow you. If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark.
Ja Wawanaway.
He hopes you're right. He gets that you mean the journey continues either way, but personally he wants the tree to survive.
Toluwoya lo Yalubatoluyu.
Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees.
Tolu Keta. Ja Wawanaway. Beboko Kontabe.
He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core.
To Wawu.
The contamination disrupted what we now know as Ki energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate.
Kim Horbe Bekoko Hifar Muk.
He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head.
Paikatawa Yuba Toluwawa.
It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real.
Kantita Dwella Bofo Tuloya Vuto Lula.
He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground.
Wesa Gono.
The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out.
Vunko Vunturubo.
The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end.
Come Ripa Ya Moluwando. Evunkutu Bugum.
He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm.
Ba Lo Yualu. Balu Putulua.
Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy.
Ba Lo Yualu. Ya Moluwando.
He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east.
Ya Lawawatnawa. Yudnuluaf Tula.
Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko.
Ya Lawawatnawa. Ya Yado.
He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped.
The what?
Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity.
Mauketo Tolu. Ayadre Kabobe Farhi.
He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared.
Kim Horbe Bekoko Hifar Muk.
Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help.
Ya Sawata Mua.
He wonders what's on your mind.
Miami.
Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. It smells like surf, all right. Let's see. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Got it. Go make the most of the day. Barbecue. Tapped hard. Right on. Almost there. A smart foe would leave now. Toxanol's offshore drilling caused oily matter to spread with the rain and contaminate both the groundwater and open surf. The long-lasting effect this had on the evolution of wildlife was, As we know now, the only reason we came to exist. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Bristles like the hair of one electrified. You need to line up the switches so they match. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Nothing's more important right now than this.
Mukamme. Sairuja. Kandwa tenkuti.
He's got the goo glide functional. You'll have a pull hook and a salvage net, but no armor, and an engine strong enough to break through the thick goo further out. There are lots of valuables left behind on the surf floor that the salvage net will enable you to haul. You just need to find the right spots. Goop says Gizmo's devised a cannon for the goo glide, but instead of bullets, it flips quacks, squeaky distractions for the triple attentive Porky Puff, which will give you time to get yourself in position. The best way to find quacks is to talk to Gulp. He has the bearings of the surf archipelago and knows where the quacks like to float. This means you'll have the privilege of visiting Gulp in the Sinky Dink. He'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find quacks. He only knows what's visible to the naked eye. Gulp is not much of a babbler and mostly keeps to himself and his drink. All good things end. Every day is a new chance to fulfill your destiny. Time to over the goo. This here is the Sinky Dink, home of Gulp, at the very least. Let's see. He's pretty sure he's heard of you before, although the details are maybe a little hazy. He wonders if you have something for him to drink. Says it's both everything you could want and never enough. Says you look like you've got a powerful thirst to do something in this world. Good, bad, not really sure, but it seems like you've been drinking in your destiny and liking the flavor. Wonders if you could take the time to help a man slake his own thirst. You'd be doing him a liquid solid. You're a do-gooder, so you know you want to.
Surangan ay mittis peridi.
Either way, he hopes you find a way to wet your whistle before the world comes to an awful dry end and leaves us all thirsting for more.
Vertrouwen nicht auf blauwe, korig vrouwen. Ja, man, nu gillen.
Says life's like a mystery drink. Sometimes it's amazing, and sometimes it's awful. But either way, you can't stop drinking till you're dead.
Korig vrouwen.
Sure, but that's nowhere near as quick and easy. Who wants to stop to chew? Wants to raise a glass to you getting the world fixed up a bit?
Wou du kom nära weide.
Respects how you always try to help, no matter that the world's fate is hard to swallow.
Budrak nangere gamma har det upp.
Sees why you joined up with the Myriad. They like a peaceful drink, just like you.
Det nange gemma rada bundan. Har det upp.
Says he sells them drinks. They mostly suck them down on their own.
Uringelenge.
But who cares about them?
Uringelenge. I multos en amigos.
Says you'd be as bummed out as him if you came for the hot stuff. The Glugmocker, Nimhimbibble, and his favorite radium syrup. That one's even more intoxicating now, aged in truck tankers and all.
Gamanu gilalan. Gamanu gilalan.
Without a drink, and radium syrup especially, he can't move, much less think, as the power of his mind is directly proportional to the quantity of syrup he swigs. That's why he's called Gulp.
Meunang.
The drink helps him forget the state the world is in, but it only lasts until tomorrow. The world is still doomed, even if the sun goes up.
Azadja kunkuringen. Waktu.
It makes most dumber, but that's his special burden to bear.
Det nange gemma rada bundan.
He wants you to know he has other interests too. He's the Surfipelago's self-proclaimed ornithologist, for example.
Akuringa lugin bambaduran. Ay mittis peridi.
There are other ways than a cold drink to relieve stress, even in these dark times, and, fortunately for you, he can help.
Akuringa lugin bambaduran. Rätt.
Watching Pippi's flap is calming, but better yet are the ones you can look at and touch, like quacks. Squeezing them is a great way to relax.
Akuringa lugin bambaduran. Seringe seda getis.
Says he read that in an old world book. It means you're an expert of all living things that flap and tweet. That'll soon pay off. Bounce the waves. The Quack Hollow. It's just loonly. Careful of the goo. When a story comes to you, pay attention. That's interesting. Looks valuable. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Control your destiny, or someone else will. That's enough quacks to sustain the Googlide flipper with infinite ammunition. Goop says he was there when the Porky Puff took Out-of-Date's leg, so this World Eater has made it personal. After that, Out-of-Date started using his head instead of his legs and came up with the plan on how to best make a stand against the World Eaters, and it wasn't by foot. That's how he got tasked with rebuilding the Googlide. He seems happy to talk. Wishes you goodbye. It's so vibrant out during daylight. It's the Porkypuff nibbling bark. It took quite a liking to the crunchy stuff after munching down Out-of-Date's leg. Unleash the quacks. Ain't that cute? A two-bit playing with quacks. Can you feel it? It's the brisk wind of change. Don't let this opportunity slide. He thanks you for dealing with another World Eater. You're halfway there. He's got word Out-of-Date spotted Lupa Lupin and has a feeling your time has come. He hopes you're up for it. Even though you're good-hearted, you shouldn't miss this opportunity to confront the Predator. Just head back to the foot of the tree. Fingers crossed Lupa Lupin will stay put until you're there. Got word you found the greatest glider of all, an Ark, and it's all good to go. Can't imagine how that would feel, to zoom so fast. Funny that you found an Ark when you don't need to go anywhere in it. The world's still going to be here. Proud of you for thinking about helping before escaping, either way. Wonders if there are any open seats left in that fancy Ark glider of yours.
So, what we have here is an opportunity to help your next. There's a seat.
Why? You don't need anyone else but yourself and me, of course, but I'm a part of you, so that doesn't count.
If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go further, go together. The only one we'd want to get away quickly from here is Darkness.
But you know you can't go on without me. Even if I'm bad company, I complete you.
I think we can finally agree on something. It is better to be alone than in bad company. But best of all is being good company yourself.
아직 못 따라할게.
Feels thrilled to snag a seat in your ark. Can't wait to glide through the skies.
윙기 만누다이 말하더라데.
Goop knows he's repeating himself, but can't help talking to you.
윙기
Understands completely. At least the temp's nice and steady underground.
아두 아와 야 에.
Out of Date says the time has come for you to reconcile with your past.
파보베 목 코파.
Lupa Lupin is still staying in the camp where he was brought up. He hopes you'll find the answers you are looking for there.
파보베 목 코파.
Even though darkness is a part of your nature, he suggests you try to keep your cool, as the best fighter is never angry.
유바 돌로와와 파보베 목 코파.
He'll point you in the right direction, but the rest is up to you. This part of the journey is one you'll have to do on your own. Lupa Lupin's camp has always been there, hidden deep inside the mountains.
목부 파르 코파파 모포박.
Out of Date hopes you'll find your way and the answers you were looking for once you're there.
파이카타와
He knows he said it before, but the time has come to put an end to the Lupin's reign of terror.
Come ripa tolu keta. Ya wawanwe.
You should get over there, come face to face with destiny. It's going to be you against the Lupin. No rules.
Ya yumawa.
He's happy to help.
Ya sawata mua.
Understands you have other places you need to go. This story needs a hero. Lupa Lupin says he's been looking forward to this moment. He wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Lupa Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last. That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again, and you'd eventually remember where you came from. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature, and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. Careful nothing's sneaking up on you. He says you really need to go see Noko as soon as possible. He's happy to help. Hopes to see you again soon. feeling mighty low. Let's see.